All right, today's video is going to cover converting fractions into decimals. So we're going to be starting off with a fraction, and we are trying to find a way to convert that into a decimal so that we can probably convert it into a percent, or else we can compare what they look like. All right, let's take a look at our first question. We have 3/4. So remember, the top number is going to go inside the house. The denominator goes on the outside. So if I look at this, 4 goes into 3. It is not possible, so I add a decimal, bring the decimal straight up, add a 0. 0 does not change the value of my number. So now I'm looking at 4 going into 30, which is going to go in 7 times, and that's going to give me 28. So now 30 minus 28 is going to give me 2. Add a 0, bring that down. 4 goes into 20 now 5 times. And when I subtract that, that gives me 0. So my decimal for 3/4 is 75 hundredths. Right there. All right, looking at our next example, we have 4/5. So top number goes inside, bottom number goes on the outside. Just add some zeros just in case. Bring my decimal straight up because I know 5 will not go into the 4, so I can put a 0 to fill that space. Now looking at 5 going into 40, that's going to go in 8 times. 8 times 5 is going to give me 40. So when I subtract that, that comes out. So my answer is 0.8 or 8/10. Now we're looking at 5/8. So 5 goes on the inside, 8 goes on the outside. Add my decimal and some zeros just in case if I need them. 8 cannot go into 5, so I'm going to bring my decimal straight up again. But 8 can go into 50, and that's going to go in 6 times, which is going to give me 48. 50 minus 48 is going to give me 2. Bring down my next 0. 8 goes into 20 now 2 times, which is going to give me 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. Bring down my next 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times, and that's going to give me 0. So 5/8 is equal to 25 thousandths. All right, taking a look at our last example. So 2/3, 2 goes on the inside. Again, I'm going to add some zeros to it. 3 goes on the outside, my denominator. 3 cannot go into the 2, so that's a 0. Bring in my decimal point. Now we're looking at 20, so 3 goes in 20 6 times, and that's going to give me 18. 20 minus 18 is going to give me 2. Bring down my next 0. And 3 goes into 20 again 6 times, which is going to give me 18. Bring down my next 0. And I'm back with 20 again, so 3 goes into 20 6 times. And by now, you should start to notice a pattern is happening here. It's always coming out to be this 20 every single time. So my pattern is constantly going to be this 6 repeating. So we would write this as 6/10 repeating. Okay, so this is what is called a repeating decimal. The previous problems were what would be called a terminating decimal because it came to an end. So this is a repeating decimal. So when you recognize that pattern, you can always just put the repeating sign over it. All right, hopefully this video helps you to understand this a little better.